Welcome back to my channel, to my fashion show. Hi, it's so nice to see you. You look amazing. You know who else looks amazing? Me. You're not surprised though, are you? No, of course not. Why would you be? Like, I feel like I look like one of those poor girls on Toddlers and Tiaras. Her mom only lets her drink and eat chicken broth and like emotionally abuses her. Like that's who I feel like, you know? I feel like the girl who won like Miss Pretty Princess Poppy Punk Pop. You know what I mean? Like 3 times in a row, everyone is gagging, they can't take it, but I'm just hot competition. Anyway, hi, how's it going? How are you? Welcome to this reading vlog. I read like 5 books in this reading vlog. I know, you're thinking that's crazy, Jordaline. You can barely read 5 books in a month. How'd you do it? Thank you so much for asking that, Tiffany. I really appreciate that. But basically, I don't know. This reading vlog, by the way, is for the BonBon ReadaThon hosted by my Manga Space, aka Sam, aka the best woman to ever live. The most beautiful woman to ever live also. Like, she's literally stunning. She's iconic. She's the best. I would literally die or be killed for her, all right? Like, I love her so much. Anyway, this reading vlog is for the BonBon ReadaThon. As the readathon was starting, I was just finishing episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. And if you're like, are you counting? Of course I'm counting that. Tiffany, get in on the joke. Get in on the bit. What am I even talking about? This is about this crew, right, of reality TV ghost hunter people. They're working on finishing their first season of their hit reality show, Ghost Hunters or something. I forget what it's called, honestly. Fade to Black. It's called Fade to Black. At the center is this husband and wife. And basically their whole gimmick is like the husband like really believes in the supernatural. He really believes in ghosty ghosts. But his wife is like totally a skeptic and is like, actually I'm a scientist because I believe in science. I can't believe in ghosts. Like that's the whole gimmick of the show. And the wife is also thinking, you know what, like this isn't like really my gig. Like I wanted to do this because it was kind of fun, but now it's like really not that fun. And then they go into this one particular place and everything changes for the worse, obviously. So episode 13 was something I read. And then after that, I read The Spite House by Johnny Compton. This is also a horror novel. This is about this father. He and his daughters are on the run. Okay, they are wanting to settle down somewhere but not be recognized. Like they're constantly just like, what? Who? Wasn't me. Like they don't want anybody to recognize them, to know who they are. So because they're like on the run. The father gets this job to stay in this like really haunted building. The owner is like, I'll give you like $100,000 whatever for you to stay in this house for like as long as possible and like really document like all the things that happen. And he's like, hell yeah, I'll do that. Easy money. Easy money. So then he brings his daughters along with him, of course, to stay in this house. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? And then after that, I read The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. This is about this girl, her brother, who's like her bestie, her like best friend, is like in love with this woman or this girl. But it's really a girl. Everybody knows also that this girl is like the hottest girl in the whole village. But then the village has this like tradition where like every 7 years or something, they like sacrifice a girl to the sea god because they think that the sea god is like mad at them. They're like, you know what? We're gonna sacrifice your girlfriend. What an honor. Everybody's like, no, this sucks. Like, she's so hot. What? Everybody else is like a 4 in comparison. Like everybody's like bummed out. And then our main character, Mina is her name. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice myself. So she jumps in to the ocean in place of the hot girl to save her and to save her brother from heartbreak. It's really quite nice. But then when she gets there, she realizes that the sea god is not mad at them. She gets there and realizes that the sea god has been sleeping this entire time. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I would be so mad. I would be so mad bad. And then I read Nod by Adrian Barnes. This is like an apocalyptic horror novel. It's about this guy named Paul. He wakes up one morning and his girlfriend is like, oh my god, I didn't sleep a single wink. It was so weird. Weird thing also is like, I don't even feel tired. Like, but I didn't sleep at all. And Paul was like, I slept like a baby. And they find out that everyone on Earth, or most people on Earth, did not sleep that night. So basically the world ends because people can no longer sleep. And then finally I read, or am reading, Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Basically it's a high fantasy about this world where these creatures have been sort of like damned or like locked away, right? But they're getting out, and with like the big honcho eventually getting out too. So the realm has to come together to save this world with the help of maybe some dragons. Also, it might be gay. I haven't gotten to the gay shit yet, but I'm excited to. Those are the books I read in this reading vlog. Let me know down below if you've read any of them. Let me know also what you thought of the reading vlog. And don't forget also to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit, we talk about creepy shit, we talk about nodding and the Spite House and shit. Let's begin the vlog. Roll the clip. Roll the clip for the vlog. Hi, welcome to this reading vlog. Hi, how's it going? How are you? Today is the second day of the BonBon ReadaThon. I had every intention of filming yesterday and like vlogging, and then literally I didn't feel like it, so I didn't do it. I also didn't read that much yesterday either, so I just figured I'd catch you up on what I did finish reading, what I started, and where I am now. I finished episode 13 by Greg DeLuey. I really loved the first half of this. The second half kind of lost me. The ending is very confusing and doesn't really give you any answers. I don't know how to feel about this, but I finished this. I had like half an hour left or something, so I finished this. And then I started The Spite House by Johnny Compton. My heater just turned on, so me and my drag. But this covers the strawberry cream. Why did I say that weird? Strawberry cream, milk chocolate heart. I would say lemon cream as well, because I don't have that many expectations for it. Dark chocolate seashell, vanilla buttercream, and peppermint patty actually. So it covers like 5 or 6 of the prompts, but I haven't gotten that far in yet. I'm only 33 pages in. I'm really excited to continue on because I don't know what to expect. But so far things are creepy. Also things are wild. So Stacy and Des went to the diner. I think Stacy was making some kind of like paper origami, and the waitress was like, can you make me a bow for my daughter? Stacy makes a bow and she gives it to the waitress. And then Stacy, while she's sleeping, has a dream about her grandmother, who is very creepy and like very much a ghost. So I feel like Stacy is like psychic. It was very creepy. And then also there was this scene, or like flashback really, with their grandfather. Specifically Des was like remembering her grandfather, and she came home and she was like crying and upset or whatever because this kid had been picking on her, and her grandfather was like, who was it? And so she tells him, and then he's like, I'll be back. And so when he comes back, he has with him the kid who was bullying her and that kid's dad, and the kid is like terrified, and so is the dad, and the dad keeps like hitting the kid and being like, say you're fucking sorry, like angry that he's in this situation with Des's grandfather. So I feel as though their grandfather was like some kind of like mafia member, or like he was just like the kind of person that you did not want to fuck with like at all. But honestly, I kind of loved it. Like it was kind of fun. It was kind of funny to read about. If your child is a bully, you're a bully. Like that's just the way it is. That's just science. I'm a bit curious to see who their grandfather was and like why everybody was so afraid of him. I think it's interesting. Anyway, this is what I'm currently reading. I just ate breakfast. I had overnight oats. I'm like healthy now. We're gonna go to the mall in like an hour or so. And then we're also gonna go to Japanese Village. My battery died and I literally forget what I was talking about. We're going to Japanese Village, which is basically, I'm assuming, what Benihana is to Americans. I've only ever been once and it was really, really good. So I'm very excited. I think between now and then, I'm gonna just keep reading The Spite House. And then I think also, actually, since we're going to the mall, I might go to the bookstore because I have some gift cards and I want to see if they have anything that I want in stock. So yeah, cool. That's all. A few things that I've noticed I want to talk about for just like a second. Number one, Eric's family seems to be like psychic. Like they seem to all be like, I'm not sure what the word is, because so basically Eric had this like meeting with Eunice, who owns the building, right, who owns the Spite House, and she was like, your life isn't going great right now and like I'd love to know why. And so he tells her this story about like when he was a kid and like something that he experienced, which is like kind of paranormal, and it kind of has like the same vibe as Stacy. So I'm wondering if it's like genetic with like this family's children or something. But then also Eunice is also sneaky. She's also like leaving things out. Like there were children who stayed in the Spite House and they have information about these children because I think they were part of Eunice's family. They're not telling them. Eric is literally like, is this safe for children? And they're like, it's totally safe for children. Don't even worry about it. It's like, fine. But literally, it seems suspicious. It seems like it's not safe for children. From what I'm gathering, the children like left journals. I don't know. I'm suspicious. We're going to leave very soon for the mall. If I do go to the bookstore, I will bring you with me. Okay? Hello. It's been a minute. Hi, it's been like a full day since I said anything to you. I haven't really talked to you, and it's like kind of rude of me, honestly, without even saying anything. I like ghosted you and you didn't even know. Like, anyway, the last time you had heard from me, I started reading The Spite House by Johnny Compton. I finished this. I finished this the day I started it. Like, that night, I sat down in my bed and I flew through it. Like, I loved, like, 5 stars. 5 stars. Like, it was so good. How do I even describe what I love about this? The plot and the backstories of each character is so interesting, so like mysterious, so whimsical. Not only that, but like Johnny Compton does like an amazing job of like setting it up, being like, this is suspicious, this is weird, right? And then you, the reader, are like, yeah, Johnny, that is weird, that is suspicious. What's going on? For me, I felt compelled to keep reading because I was like, what the f is going on? Not only that also, but like the characters also. I just needed to keep reading because I needed to know more about them. Like, I needed to keep reading because I needed to feel like I had a solid grasp on who they were. Or they were just super interesting. Like, for instance, like Eustace. On one hand, you want to hate her because she's kind of a douche. You know what I mean? Like, she's kind of like the worst. But on the other hand, she has that like southern charm kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So like, I was like, okay, like you're like objectively a terrible person, but also you seem pretty like charming. You seem pretty charismatic. I think my favorite character, to be honest, was Stacy. Stacy, the whole book, I was like, what the f is going on with this little girl? Why is she why does she act this way? Why does she do all these? How can she see these things? Like, that's, I think, the biggest mystery of the book, other than like the actual Spite House itself. I was like, what the f is going on with Stacy? Because also her dad and her sister are like, we have to protect Stacy. Like, we can't let Stacy like get hurt. We can't let Stacy do this. We can't, like, it was very much like, so all of this is for Stacy. Okay, and honestly, I did guess like what it was, and I was right. But I still loved it. I still loved it. The actual Spite House, terrifying, horrifying. I would rather cut off my left nut than spend a night in that house. Like, don't give me attitude. Get down. Get down. Thank you. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to say any spoilers, but I will say it's not fun. Like, it's fun because it's like a haunted house, but on the other hand, it's really not fun to think about because you're like, these things are good. This isn't good, you know? I don't want to give anything away, so I'm going to stop talking about it, but I loved this so much. It was so good. I loved it. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. 555 stars, okay? Yesterday, I started this book, and I meant to update you, and I just like literally didn't. So that's on me. But I have The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I also finished this the same day I started it. I really enjoyed this. Did I love it? Not necessarily. First of all, okay, wait. What I loved the most about it was like the world building and how lush and beautiful the spirit world is. You really feel the atmosphere, you know what I mean? Like, it gives me like Ghibli, like Ghost Bride vibes. What I didn't really like about this book was like the romance. I don't know, like some parts I liked the romance, some parts I was like, why do I care? I really don't. I was much more interested in like the mystery slash like figuring out how our main character, Mina, can get back to the human world. And I was much more interested in how she saved the sea god from his like curse. And honestly also, I did guess slash predict the ending. Like, I would say I was like halfway through the book and I was like, oh, this is what's going on. And then at the end it was like, this is what's going on. And I was like, told you. I knew it. It wasn't that much of like a face crack type of thing. But overall, I think I'd give this 3 stars. Like, I loved the world. I loved the characters also, like all the other characters, like Shin, so cute. Love. But overall, 3 stars. Something about it just like didn't fully connect with me. But I really, really love this cover. Like, it's stunning. So far, I've read 3 books, which for me is fucking wild. It's wild. Technically, I read most of this outside of the readathon, but we're gonna count it anyway because I'm crazy. I woke up this morning, right? And I was like, what do I want to read next? Because I've just been flying through things. I was like, should I pick up something longer? Should I pick up something shorter? Like, what should I do? Because we also have movie night tonight, because tonight's Saturday. So we're gonna have movie night with Steve, Vaseline Steve, if you know, you know. I had the thought to maybe reread some things. Maybe I could reread Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I think it's been like 9 years since I read that book, because I read it like when it first came out and I loved it. Or I thought like, if I'm rereading things, maybe I can reread The Good People by Hannah Kent. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Also, I'm sorry, where the fuck is Hannah Kent? Why has this bitch left us like, why is this bitch edging us? Like, just give us another book, Hannah. Come on, Hannah, we're waiting. Anyway, and then I was on Instagram. I was looking at this photo that I posted. This one, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, maybe follow me on Instagram. I posted this photo, right? And I was like, I've read 2 of these books in this photo. I haven't read the 3rd. So I think I'm going to next pick up Nod by Adrian Barnes. This is a horror novel, which is kind of what I'm in the mood for. And I think actually that's part of why I didn't love The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea that much, because I'm in like a very like horror mood, you know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna pick up Nod, because it's also a very short audiobook. It's only 6 hours long, and which in my head always calculates, listen, okay, am I the only one who does this? Every time I see an audiobook, like say it's 20 hours long, in my head, I don't see it as 20 hours. In my head, I'm like, oh, that's 10 hours. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to it on 2 times speed. So I always do the math. I always do the conversion. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's 6 hours. Actually, it's 3. Am I the only one who does that, or do other people do that? Please let me know. I'm gonna read this. I'm really excited to read it. Ever since I heard about it, I've been wanting to get to it. Like, look how pretty that is. I'm gonna read this, and then maybe after I'll pick up either Night Film or The Good People by Hannah Kent. I think I also want to finish this today, because I love this like starting a book and ending it in the same day. I'm gonna start this right now, so. I didn't finish Nod yesterday. I read about half of it, so I have about an hour and 42 minutes-ish left in the audiobook. I'm doing reading sprints right now with my patrons. I just made a big old cup of coffee. I'm reading. And yeah, I woke up feeling kind of sick, to be honest. Like, feeling like my stomach just being like, blah, blah, blah. So far, I am at this point now about halfway through. And I would say that this book is, I don't know, I'm very conflicted, because on one hand, I like the premise, but on the other hand, how do I say this without seeming like a fucking idiot? Excuse me, sir. My cat is crinkling stuff. How do I say this without seeming like an idiot? It reads like it's meant for men. It has that kind of vibe where this was written for men. Don't tell me to explain myself, because I don't know, but that's the vibe. And I could be wrong. Like, a lot of people maybe don't feel that way, but for me, I'm reading it and I'm like, who's the main demographic for this book? Who is Adrian Barnes trying to appeal to? And I feel as though it is mostly men, which like isn't bad. It's not like a bad thing, but that's the vibe. Anyway, trigger warnings for fat phobia. There's one scene where the characters like make fun of a fat girl. So far, it's like some people are awake, some people can sleep. And I don't know why some people can sleep and some people can't. I don't know if it's like genetics or if it's ever going to be explained. I don't know. Our main character, Paul, he can sleep, but his girlfriend Tanya cannot. At this point, I'm on like day 7. Tanya at this point is like losing her mind. Like she's going into psychosis. She's going into like delirium. She's losing it. Paul is cool as a cucumber. So it's a bit odd. It's a bit much, because Tanya is just slowly losing it. Paul is fine. He's trying to keep everything, cool, collected, calm. Over the last week, the apocalypse has just been edging closer and closer. Like the more the general population isn't sleeping, the more things are breaking down. The more things are becoming chaotic and violent. I'm curious to see if Tanya is going to die, if Paul is gonna have to kill Tanya. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I get the feeling that he's gonna have to eventually kill her, because eventually she might sort of lose it and break ties with reality. Do you know what I mean? And like try to harm somebody. And so Paul might have to sort of like old yeller her. Do you know what I mean? Where he like, puts her down. If you had a gun to my head, if you were like, rate this book right now, I'd be like, three stars, Like, I would give this book right now 3 stars. It's fine. Am I crazy about it? Not necessarily. I think also part of it is that the protagonist, that the narrator doesn't, it doesn't appeal to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the kind of voice in fiction that I would be drawn to. I think that's most of what I don't like about it, is the voice. I did post a poll on my Patreon stream asking my patrons to choose what I'm gonna read next. I had Priory of the Orange Tree, which I have with me. Beautiful book. I had My Dress Up Darling, and then I had Night Film, and I had The Wandering Inn. And right now, Night Film is winning by 50%. Priory is right below it, or right behind it, with 40%. So who knows, that might change. Yeah, so I might, after this, move on to Night Film. Although I don't know how I'm gonna fit that into the prompts. I'm gonna keep reading this. I have 26 minutes left of my sprint, so okay. Quick update. I'm going to be DNFing Nod. I have like 50 minutes of the audiobook left, And I'm gonna be honest with you, my friend, the last like hour, I've been trying to just like read this, trying to concentrate on it, and I literally can't. My mind just keeps wandering. I just keep being preoccupied with other things. So yeah, I think I'm gonna DNF it. I liked it in the beginning, but the more it's gone on, the more I'm just not interested. I don't think I care. Like, that's the issue, I think, which is such a bummer, because I was really, really looking forward to this. And I thought it was gonna be like a 5-star read. And the book that won the poll that I'm doing on Patreon for my sprints was Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So I am gonna start this. It's a huge book. The audiobook is like, I think over 25 hours long. So I'm hoping I can finish it in the next like 2 days of this vlog, if the Lord be willing. I think I'm also gonna annotate it. I'm very excited to get started with it. I don't know what to expect. All I know is that there's dragons and that it's kind of gay. That's all I know. That's literally all I know. But I'm really excited to get into it. And I hope it's as good as everyone says it is, because people are obsessed with this. Also, the sequel, or like, sorry, prequel is coming out at the end of this month. So I figure if I read it now, I can pick up the second book and read that. You know? Let me show you the map. Oh. And then, boom. Oh, gorge. I have about 4 minutes left of my reading sprint. So yeah, just thought I should update you. Hi, so today is the last day of the BonBon ReadaThon. I'm so sad that it's almost over, but I'm so actually proud of myself for reading the amount that I read in this readathon. Like, I literally expected me to read like 2 books. And the fact that I've read like almost, I think, 5 is wild. It's crazy. So I'm gonna talk about Priory of the Orange Tree while I do my makeup, because I want to talk to you about it. So I have read about 200 pages or so, almost like I think 250 pages so far, and I am obsessed with it. In the beginning, I was kind of like worried. I was like, am I gonna understand what's going on? Like, I felt kind of dumb. You know that feeling when you start a new fantasy novel, especially like a high fantasy novel, kind of just like push you in, and they don't really give you any kind of like buffer or help understanding what the actual F is going on. That's what happened at the beginning of Priory. Like, it was interesting. I understood like what was happening, kind of, but like there was no context, you know what I mean? So I was freaking out. I was like, am I gonna not understand what's going on? Are these, like, is it gonna be like, basically my fear was, is this gonna be another Malice situation? And I'm happy to report that after the first 50 pages, it really things start to click, you know what I mean? You start to understand what's going on. I think it also helped as well that like, while I was reading it, I reread the dust jacket. I reread the little flap or like synopsis on the book, and that helped as well to like remind me of the characters and like what their motivation is. Take your time with it. If you start reading it and you're like, I don't know what's going on, I don't understand anything, I'm kind of like afraid, don't be. It's fine. It's fine. And that's usually what happens. So I don't know why I always freak out. First of all, favorite character. You didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you. My favorite character is for sure Iad. She's a bad bitch. She is a bad bitch. And like, I don't really know when the lesbians are gonna show up, but I'm okay with waiting because I really enjoy Iad. I think she's so cool, first of all. Second of all, I'm really interested to know like what exactly the Priory of the Orange Tree is, you know what I mean? And it seems like, just based on my scientific research, that Iad is somehow like involved in all of that. I also just love how like determined she is and how like clever she is to like do her job, to do what she's there to do, but then also like protect the people who she's meant to protect. Like she's so cool. She's so cool. And then, okay, I think the character that I'm least interested in, like the character that I'm least, what's the word? Like connected to, I guess, is Tane. I think mostly because we haven't really seen anything from her. Like we've had like a few moments with her, but not enough to like connect. Whereas like Iad, we've spent like multiple chapters with. But either way, I am interested to see, where Tane goes, like if she ends up getting in trouble for the thing that she did in the beginning of the book, even though it seems like kind of like a stupid rule, but like whatever, what do I know, you know? Loth and Kit, I'm like, are they gay? I think Loth might be gay because there's all of these women being like, we're besties, we're best friends, and Loth doesn't really like think of them that way. Maybe he thinks that way about like the queen, Saban, but I don't know, I kind of get gay vibes. And then him and Kit, oh no, actually, oh no, you know what, never mind all of that. I just remembered what happened in the last chapter. Never mind. Lastly, we have, I think, the Doctor. I'm not really rooting for him. He's fine, but whatever. Oh, and then also actually the Queen, Saban, speaking of the Queen, in the beginning, I was like, this bitch, like, she's so rude, and she's such a douche, like, she's such, like, oh, I really did not like her, at all. Mostly because of the way that she spoke to Iad, and I'm like a stan for Iad, so, like, literally, how dare you? Who do you think you are? The plot. I honestly, I don't really know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting what is happening, and because there is a lot going on, and I think all of it is going to be eventually connected. That's just my theory. But I love the like I was gonna say the dinosaurs. I love the dragons and then the worms, and like how they're like opposites almost. Where like the dragons are of air and like water, and then the worms are like fire and like earth, and like how they're like opposites and how they're almost like they're in balance with each other, right? One is good, one is evil, etc., etc. Like I love that idea, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Also, for sure, I don't believe that the nameless one is stuck, you know, trapped until because of the royal family. I do not believe that, like, at all. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's literally stupid. I don't believe that. So I think the nameless one is about to show up and be like, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? Yeah, you look great. Like a petty fucking friend. I think that's what's about to happen. Either way, like, I'm really enjoying this book. I love it. I'm definitely not gonna finish it in this vlog. I did a poll on my Instagram, asking if people wanted to see me read the rest of the book in the vlog, or if they wanted to see me talk about it in my wrap-up. I'm pretty sure the wrap-up is going to win, or it's gonna be like a very close race. And so I think I'm gonna do that. I am getting ready to film. I'm going to be filming my favorite horror books today, and then I'm going to film the intro to this video, and then also the last clip of this vlog, because I'm going to listen to it, the audiobook I mean, of Priory, while I'm getting ready, and so I'll have a little bit more of an idea of how I'm feeling about it. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. But yeah, how are you? Oh my god, how have you been? I feel like we haven't talked in so long. I have been feeling, if I'm being 100% honest with you, my friend, unmotivated and quite depressed, actually. Depression is a bitch, and she has her fucking claws in me. And I really do think it's time that I get on some kind of like antidepressant, because this is ridiculous at this point. Like, I'm not doing well. And so I think I really do need to just like go to the doctor. Which like should have been what I did like a year ago, but I didn't. So here we are. But yeah, I'm not doing that great, to be honest. I've been procrastinating on my channel. I haven't been posting as much as I want to be. And I really need to be, because this is my one source of income other than Patreon, which, by the way, if you want to support me on Patreon, there's always a link down below in the description. It's the first one. We would love to have you. Our little sheep cult. Yes, we're little sheepy sheeps. But yeah, so yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And I want to fix that. Other than that, nothing else is really new with me. I think I might make soup tonight, some tortellini soup, just because I have it in the fridge. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna listen to Priory. I will see you at the end of this vlog. Hi, welcome to the last clip, or the ending of this reading vlog. Hi, so good to see you. So let me talk about just briefly like my final thoughts on all of these different books, so that we can just have like a clear understanding of like how everything went. Now, first of all, I'm literally amazed that I finished all these books. The fact that I got to 5 different books in this reading vlog is absolutely insane. Never expected it. Never even happened before, you know? Like, I've written never. Episode 13. I didn't talk about this book very much during this vlog because I read the majority of it outside of the vlog, but I did give it 3 stars, which I think I may have talked about it before, but basically my reasoning is that like the beginning of the book, the first half of the book is really, really good. It like really sets up everything super well. You get to know the characters really well. The format is good. Like the way it's written lends itself to it. Like it's really good. Not only that, but the audiobook is so good. The audiobook is so layered, you know what I mean? And then the second half of the book, Mr. DeLuey lost me. I was confused. I didn't like it. Like it seemed like a poor man's House of Leaves. It was confusing and meandering, and for what reason? For what reason? I honestly didn't understand. I didn't understand even a little bit. And I don't know if I was meant to, honestly, but I didn't like it. Although I will say the last chapter in the book, I did like that. I thought that was cool. I thought it was creepy. But other than that, the last half, trash. Like, no. I wanted better for you, Craig. I wanted better. It's not that I'm angry. I'm just disappointed. After that, I read the banger that is The Spite House. The Spite House is so f***ing good. 5 stars. 5-star book. So good. The characters, fascinating. I loved, especially the like antagonists or like the bad guys. I think I talked about earlier in the vlog the feeling of like I should hate you. I should want you to not succeed, but you're so charismatic that you do it in such a way that I'm like almost rooting for you. Like I really loved it. I really loved it. The house itself, terrifying. You could not pay me to sleep in a house like that. Absolutely not. The ending I thought was really well done. And like, to be honest, I think, like I've said before, I think in this vlog, I literally don't remember what I said, by the way, which is why I keep saying like, I think I said this, I don't know. It was predictable. I did predict what was going on, but still I had so much fun with it. It was so serious. Not only that, but it was like a page turner. Like, I read this in a single day, like in a single sitting almost. Like, I read it cover to cover in like 24 hours and like 12 hours, to be honest. Like, you get it. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, on one hand, I love how beautiful it is and how like whimsical the world building was. Not only that, but I really liked the plot. I thought that was interesting. But the main character, Nina, I think it was Mina, or was it Nina? I can't remember. But the main character, I don't know. She was fine. Like, she didn't really inspire me to be like, you can do it. Yes. No. You know, it was kind of just like, do you know what I mean? Like, those kinds of characters where there's nothing really special going on about them, so you don't really root for them. Do you know what I mean? At least I think that was my issue with it. Either way, also, the like twist was so easy. I literally picked it up like halfway through the book. I was like, oh, the twist was easy for me. Which, unlike the Spite House, where I don't even mind, I did mind, because I was like, that could have at least been something, you know, to latch me into the story. Maybe it was that I never fully like latched on in the story, or like felt like I was fully like committed. Does that make sense? This as well, though, I also read in like a day. I read it like, again, in like 12 hours. Not because it was good, but just because I wanted to get it over with. Is that rude to say? That might be rude to say. Either way, I would give it a solid 3 stars. Solid 3 stars. Anyway, and then after that, probably my least favorite book from this reading vlog was Nod by Adrian Barnes. I really like the premise of this book, and like, R.I.P. Adrian Barnes. It's so sad that he passed away, but I don't know, this wasn't my favorite thing in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted more. The issue I have with this book, and the reason I kind of lost interest like the longer I was reading, was because the more and more I was reading, the more it reminded me of like, oh, how do I even describe this? I don't even know if it is describable. Maybe I could put this in your head, okay? You know those like horror books told through the point of view of men, like cis straight men, who are written by cis straight men, and they have this kind of like manly, douchey vibe to the— does that even make sense? Am I even making any sense? I swear to God, this is a thing. They're all kind of written the same, where it's all kind of like very like tongue-in-cheek. Everyone else is gross and like disappointing and ugly except for me. Like that kind of vibe. Do you even know what I mean? That's the vibe it gave me. And I was like, I'm not the demographic. I'm not the demographic. It honestly kind of, and like, this isn't even written by a man, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of like Cypher by Kathy Koja. So maybe if you really like Cypher, you might really like this. But it was just weird. The writing style like really irked me for some reason also. I think it's literally just like that kind of voice, that tone in books that I just don't fuck with. I just don't like it. I DNF'd it at like 80%. Like, I think I had like an hour and a half left in the audiobook, and I was just like, you know what? I really don't care. I really don't give a single flying fuck. And then lastly, as you know, we have Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I'm currently still reading this. I have about 7 hours left on the audiobook. I am really enjoying it. Like I said earlier, it's going places that I didn't expect it to go. And I'm glad that I understand what's going on. I'm glad that I'm not like thinking like, oh my God, I'm such a dummy for not understanding this. I feel like I have an idea of where things are going in Priory. Like, I think I know that, like, I have a feeling that Iyad and Shaban are gonna be like like romantically involved. And I don't know that for sure. Like, that's literally just a guess. I don't know. But like, that's the vibe I get, because there have been things that have happened that are kind of pushing them together. Like, certain characters are being introduced to complete certain things, and then once they are no longer needed, it's kind of like that's the vibe. Like, Samantha Shannon was like, you know what, I need you for just like this one thing, and then I'm gonna fucking kill you off because I don't give a single flying fuck. And like, that's what she did. If you know, you know. She killed somebody off because I think she wants Siobhan and Iad to be, you know what I mean? Like a little kissy kissy moment, which I love. I live for. I was talking to Katie actually yesterday, and she said that she didn't like it because there was only like 20 pages of gay stuff and like 20 pages of like dragon stuff. And I was like, honestly, fair, but also I will take what I can get. Like, it's more than Leigh Bardugo. There are some authors who really want to not make gay shit canon. So I'll take anyone who does, especially when it comes to like lesbians. I will take it. It's fine. Either way, I'm excited to see what happens next in the book. It's actually also cool is that like a bunch of these characters are seemingly like connected. They're kind of like, you know, distant relations, you know, like, you know how everybody is like 7 degrees away from Kevin Bacon? Like, that's how it feels for the characters, but except they're only like 1 degree each away from knowing each other. Like, I feel like at some point they're all gonna sort of coalesce and come together. That's the vibe I get. Anyway, I'm really liking it, and I will talk more about it in my wrap up. For now, thank you so much for watching this reading vlog. It's been so much fun. It's been so great to see you. You look amazing. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, what you think I should read next. Let me know. Don't forget also to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit, talk about creepy shit, we talk about the girl who fell beneath the sea and the spite house and shit. Thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Goodbye. I wish I was like a beauty queen. I wish I just want to like wave, but beautifully, like a princess, really. Like how do you wave? Oh, this is actually kind of nice. No, that's weird. It's weird. No, that's weird. I don't know how to wave prettily. Okay.